Hello dear students, today we are going to discuss the topic that is aberration in optics. Aberration in optics can also be considered as aberration in images because the concept of aberration in optics comes only when we try forming some image of an object using some lens or some curved surfaces, okay, or like you can say mirrors. So when it comes to the word aberration, okay, so aberration, the word itself means it's a kind of defect, okay. So it's a kind of inability. So when we talk in terms of optics, then we need to consider it in terms of image formation. So first, understanding the concept of aberration in optics, let us first of all consider the formation of images. So there is a concept of ideal image, okay. So there is a concept of ideal image formation, according to which suppose if you have a point object, okay, so when you try to inform the image of this particular object, then what happens, uh, as the image should also be a point object, okay, that is the first thing that is supposed to be considered, okay. So for an ideal image, for a point object, you are going to have a point image. Similarly, if you have a kind of size, so then the point will be slightly different, because you can see that when smaller image, its object can have a magnified image. So that's a different case. Next thing is that about the color. If the color of that object is colored, then image should also be having the same color, okay. That is one of the concept that is considered to be ideal. And another thing, suppose if you have an extended object like this, okay, so suppose that there are 2 points on it and they are in the same plane, okay. So if you consider this is the same plane, so if you are going to form an image by using a lens, so wherever the image is formed, these two particular points should lie in the same plane, okay. So that is the concept. So one is about the point object. For point object, there should be a point image. For a colored image, they should also have the same colored colored object, there should be a same colored image, and then the points should be on the same lines on the same plane as in case of object. So these are the concepts of ideal image formation. So what happens in case of aberration? So aberration basically, or the defect of a lens or a mirror, it can occur in case of mirror as well as in lens. So aberration basically is a defect, okay, defect of a so aberration is nothing but defect, or I would say inability of a mirror or a lens to form an ideal image. Understood? That is called aberration of images, or aberration in images, like that. So aberration in simple thing like in optical system, which may include lenses and mirrors, is basically the deviation of the light rays through lens, causing the image of the object to be blurred, or there will be a confusion in the image, okay. So you are not going to have a perfect image. So image is particularly going to be a blurred image because of various reasons. So that we are going to study. So first thing that we are going to consider, that is called, this is a very interesting one, that is called chromatic aberration. Okay, these are very simple topics. Notes regarding this are already mentioned in my Google Classroom for my students, and for those who wants to get the note related to this particular topic, they can go to my home site, which is mentioned in the description box, and they can retrieve, or they can collect the notes using my Google Drive link, and then while watching the video they can relate it to my note also. So what happens in chromatic aberration? Suppose you have a lens, okay? Suppose you have a lens, and suppose you have a particular somewhere here you have a white object, okay? So rays of light are coming out of it, isn't it? So rays of light will be coming out of that particular white object, okay? And we are trying to form the image. So this is obviously the principal axis. You should always be clear about it. And yes, now what happens when we say white, the word white, it is basically a combination of 7 colors. Okay, it is basically a combination of 7 colors. So while studying the optical system or optical things regarding this aberration, we will be considering the extreme colors. Okay, it's up to you. You can consider different color, but for our convenience only, we are considering the extreme colors. This is red and violet. So you know that lambda red, that is wavelength for red color, is greater than wavelength for violet color. Okay, that's clear for both of you. That means lambda r is greater than lambda v. V for violet, R for red. Now someone wants to take blue and red, they can also do it, but it is always good to be on a symmetric side. That's why I am considering this. So again, you know that what I will say, that refractive index of a particular material, okay, with respect to a particular wavelength are related like this. Okay, so refractive index of a material will change with respect to the wavelength falling on it. Okay, so refractive index always reacts to the wavelength falling on it. So therefore, if we follow this rule, what will happen? Mu, refractive index of the refractive index of the lens, for the material of the lens. Listen to me very carefully. Refractive index for the material of the lens, that is this lens, for red color will be less than that of the refractive index of the material of the lens for violet color. Okay, so this is coming from this relation. Alright, again you know that, let me write it here. Focal length is always inversely proportional to mu. Fine. So in that case, focal length for red color will always be greater than focal length for violet color. That means what does it mean? The rays of light with red color or red wavelength will always focus at a higher length than the rays of violet color with a violet wavelength. Understood? So that means when the ray of light, listen to me carefully, when the ray of light is entering here, I am again trying to draw it. Okay, so when the ray of light will enter this particular lens, till now it is obviously white color, there is no doubt about it. Okay, after it enters this particular lens, since lens has a certain kind of material, okay, so the material will start behaving differently to this ray of light, because the white light is nothing but is a combination of 7 colors. So once it enters the lens, it will split into 7 different colors. Understood? So now who will be deviated more? Okay, since red color has more focal length, so red color is deviated more, the most deviated ray. Okay, so this is the point where red colors will come. Understood? And here the violet color will come. This is the least deviated, because for violet color the focal length is the smallest one. Okay, so if you write like this, FV and FR, if you write like this, other colors V, G, or, okay, so the other colors will lie between them. Okay, So violet color will have the shortest focal length, so it is a least deviated ray. Similarly, in this case also, till now it is a white ray. Once it enters this particular lens, the material will start behaving differently, because white color has 7 colors, white gray has 7 colors. So it once enters, it will split into different 7 colors. So out of this, what will happen? The red color will have the highest focal length and the violet color will have the lowest focal length. Understood? So you can see that. So I am not considering this one. This one I just want to avoid. Okay. Now what happens if I consider the other colors? What will happen after violet? It is indigo, then it is blue, then green, then yellow, then orange, like that. So everywhere violet, indigo. So understood? So you see, for a single white object, you are having a colored image. So when somebody will try to locate the image, then he is not going to have a single image. He is going to have a blurred image of different colors, which will include different colors. So this problem is called chromatic aberration. Okay. So this problem is called chromatic aberration. Let me clear this diagram again, because these are not at all necessary. Okay. So finally, what we are, so according to chromatic aberration, what is the defect? So therefore the defect is that chromatic aberration basically represents the defect of a lens, okay, due to which the image of an white object formed by the lens becomes colored and blurred because they are not focused at a certain point. They are formed at different points. So you can understand, for violet here it is, for indigo it is here, for blue here, for green here, for orange here. So it's a kind of, you are not able to locate the image at a single point, because the object was at a single point. So but the image is not a single point, so it is ultimately a blurred image. So this particular defect is called chromatic aberration, and you can see that this particular defect is occurring because the ray is passing through the lens. If the ray doesn't pass through the lens, means if it is in case of this is happening because it is refraction, or you can see that dispersion, because after passing through the lens the rays are getting split. So this is a kind of dispersion. Fine. So but in case of you may face some question in exam that whether you will see chromatic aberration in case of mirrors. So in case of lens, obviously yes, but in case of mirror chromatic aberration doesn't occur, because mirror allows only reflection. So reflection doesn't give the lens material or the reflecting material any chance to differentiate between the wavelengths, because it is going to reflect back. Fine. So there may be a question that why chromatic aberration occurs only in lenses, not in mirrors. So you have the answer for that. Now there is another question that there are types. Okay, there are types of chromatic aberration. So what are the types of chromatic aberration? So first type is called longitudinal or you can say axial chromatic aberration. Okay, so see, this thing is a particularly you can say that is a relative concept. How? I will show you. Let me remove those unnecessary parts. These are not at all required. Okay, you see, for red color the image is formed here, for violet color the image is formed here. Fine. Suppose if I don't consider red and violet, suppose I want out of fifth suppose I want to consider blue and yellow. Okay, so this is the blue color and this is the say yellow color. Okay, so this is blue, this is yellow. Fine. So you can see that this particular gap, if you consider violet and red, this particular gap is called longitudinal chromatic aberration. Similarly, if you want to consider, so that's why I said it is a relative concept. Suppose if you want to consider only blue and yellow color, so this particular gap is called the longitudinal chromatic aberration. Suppose if you want to consider blue and red color, so this is the chromatic aberration. So in short, I will tell you that longitudinal or axial chromatic aberration is nothing but it's represented by dV by d lambda. Okay, so V is nothing but image distance. Okay, so if you look at the diagram, okay, so if you want to consider blue and say yellow, suppose if you consider blue and yellow combination, then what will happen? Vy minus Vb, obviously image distance for y is greater than image distance for blue, so that is divided by lambda, so lambda y by lambda b. So this thing can be written as dV d lambda. Fine. Suppose if you want to consider say blue and red color. Okay, so what will be that? Vr minus Vb and lambda r minus lambda b. So this is again dV by d lambda. So longitudinal chromatic aberration is just representing how the image exchange is changing with respect to the wavelength. Okay, so change in image distance with respect to wavelength. Okay, So that is called longitudinal chromatic aberration. So this is called longitudinal chromatic aberration. That means simply formation of images of different colors at different positions is called longitudinal or axial chromatic aberration. This thing is clearly mentioned in the note that I have provided. Okay. So next type is called lateral chromatic aberration. Okay, so for that again, see in this diagram actually you can see unfortunately we do not have any height of the image, isn't it? The image is not formed at that height. So for that I would like to draw another diagram to show you what is. So in this diagram we cannot define lateral chromatic aberration. It's not possible to define lateral chromatic aberration. Let me draw another diagram. So that diagram is basically so having an extended white object. Suppose you have an object like this. Okay, so rays of light are coming out like this. Okay, this is called A, this is called B. So this is the white object. Fine. So after when it enters here, what will happen? When it enters here, it will split into 7 colors. So one will be and another will be like this. Okay. So see, this is its original direction. Fine. So in this diagram again, let me go back. Here you can see this is the original direction. This is the deviation of the red color and this is the deviation of the violet color. So you can see that red color is deviated more. So deviation for red color is less than that of deviation of violet color. So that means here also this is the red color. Okay, and this is the violet color. Fine. Here also the same thing will happen. After entering here, the color will split into two different white color will split into 7 colors. So we will be considering red and violet only. So this is its original direction. It should go like this, but no, it will deviate from it. So deviation will be more for violet. So just like this is the violet. Okay, and another one, and deviation will be less for the red one. Okay, this is for the red one. So this is for the red one, this is for the violet one. So here you have an image. This is A dash, this is B dash. Okay, and this is again another image. This is A double dash, this is B double dash. Okay, so this is basically this is formed because of the red color. So this image is red colored. Okay, the whole image is red colored, and this is formed because of the violet color. So this whole image is violet colored. So remember that. Fine. So from this diagram I can again see that this is the height of the violet colored image and this is the height of the red colored image. Understood? So the difference between them is called the difference between their heights is called, this thing is called the lateral chromatic aberration. So what is that? What does this particular thing means? That suppose H is the height for HR is the height for the red color and H violet in H, violet is the height for the violet colored image, lambda r minus lambda v. Okay, so this can simply be written as dh d lambda. Okay, so this thing basically represents the lateral chromatic aberration. Okay, so formation of images of different sizes at different positions with different colors is called lateral chromatic aberration. So that's all for the what I can say, the definition of chromatic aberration, types of chromatic aberration. Now there may be a question that they may ask you that find out the expression for chromatic aberration, so for a particular lens, for thin lens. So how to do that? So this is a very simple one. So we are going to find out the expression for chromatic aberration for a thin lens. Okay, so for that simply we know that 1 by, for a thin lens we know that it is equal to 1 by f equal to mu minus 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. You know what is r1 and r2. r1 and r2 are the radius of curvature of the two surfaces, okay, of the thin lens. This is the r1 and this is the r2. Okay, so so here see some basic mathematical steps that we are going to take here. So you will have to consider this throughout the aberration chapter, so it should be very familiar for you. Now what we are going to do, we will be differentiating both sides of 1. Okay, so differentiating both sides of 1, I didn't say with respect to what, I didn't say that. So we are going to do a generalized differentiation. So how to do that? So first of all we will differentiate 1 by f, and it will be differentiating mu minus 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2, whole thing we are going to differentiate, isn't it? So obviously 1 by f means you know ddx of 1 by x is what? It is minus 1 by x square, isn't it? But here we do not have ddx, so what we are going to do? So it will be 1 by f square. Alright, since we do not know with respect to what we are differentiating, we will be keeping it like this, delta. So next, this thing is a constant one, it is not going to change. So what we will be doing, 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2, this thing will be out, and then we will have mu minus 1. Alright, but I think if you look at this equation number 1, if I want to get this, is it equal to, is it like 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2 is equal to 1 by f mu minus 1? Don't you think? From 1 we can imply like this. Okay, so here I will put, so it is simply del f by f square. So it will be like 1 by f mu minus 1 delta mu minus 1. Okay, so delta f by f square. So it is obviously, if you go inside only, this will remain, this will be 0. So it is del mu by f into mu minus 1. Okay, so simplifying what I am going to see, here you have an f, here f square, so 1 f cancelled. So what remains? Del f is equal to f into del mu by mu minus 1. So del f equal to minus f into del mu by mu minus 1. So if we are considering, so this represents the chromatic aberration for a thin lens. Okay, this expression, okay, because this represents a change in the focal length because of the change in the wavelength. Fine. So this is the expression for chromatic aberration. So we can suppose if we consider the colors red and violet, what we are going to write? Fr minus Fv equal to minus f into del mu means difference of two refractive index values. So it will be mu v minus mu r divided by mu minus 1. Okay, so mu will be the average, okay, of the two. Means it's like mu v plus mu r divided by 2, that will be equal to mu. Okay, so it will be the somewhere like the middle color. So this basically represents the generalized form for the expression for chromatic aberration for a thin lens.